5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother. What we do here is go back.
Hey everybody, welcome to the live chat. This is Jensen and Jessi Davin. I'm Steven, that's Jessi, obviously. We're going to be talking about a whole lot of stuff today. We have AEW Dynamite coming up this Saturday. We have NXT TakeOver tomorrow night. I'll be doing the not NXT TakeOver. We'll have NXT TakeOver Saturday night as well. We have NXT, just the regular show on USA still this Wednesday. And I'll be doing the Fightful post show for that with Alice Pulowski if you want to check that out. We have Raw to talk about. We got Raw Underground. We have this ThunderDome thing. A lot to talk about. So if you want your voice heard, jump in the chat. Let us know. We always try to keep an eye on that, but we always make sure to prioritize super chats. So if anybody has a super chat or a donation links are in the description, and that counts the same as a super chat. So any money that gets sent our way, essentially, we make sure to dive deep on your question, comment, statement, or just let your voice be heard. As always, please make sure to let me know if the audio is sounding all right, the video's looking all right, I'm sounding good, Jesse's sounding good, and looking good, and all that good stuff. So we always appreciate your feedback. Before we get into all the topics for today, Jessi, how you been?
I've been good, just chilling, enjoying some Raw Underground, enjoying some Shane McMahon meme-ness. Been super excited, been eagerly refreshing the WWE ThunderDome website in the hopes to become a virtual fan. I am very excited for drones and lasers and fireworks. Very hype. Also super hype to give away 2 free Wrestle Rumble SummerSlam Pick'em entries today. If you're new here, welcome. If you're new since we've done a giveaway, this is how we do it. Basically in the chat, let us know if you want an entry. Just say I would like an entry. I'll put your name on a list. You get 1 entry per person. If you would like more entries, super chat. 1 super chat, doesn't matter the amount, is 2 extra entries. And we've seen that usually the people that give super chats are the ones who typically win. Just increase your odds.
And
So
also, if I think we did it before last time too, if it's $10 or more, we'll give you a third one. So like,
yes, if it's
because
$10
we
or
want
more,
to
you
make
get
sure to
three.
reward you versus like, if you are going to
Yeah.
give us larger amounts, we want to be able to try to do a little more for you to help out
Yeah.
your chances. So
10 and up 3, 10 and below, or 9 and below is 2. So if you want a super chat, you get double entry or triple entry if it's $10 or above. 1 entry is chat room. I will do my best to keep track. I'm going to try. And you know what? I can do extra trying and be extra vigilant when you give your predictions for Dynamite, because I won't be doing that. So there we go. All right, Andrew wants in. All right, I gotta start doing this.
perfect. And basically, what we do is at the end of the show, we're just to take everybody's names. So if you have 3 entries or whatever the amount is, like for instance, if you wind up doing a $20 donation, we'll give you another one because you've given another $10 and stuff like that.
Yes.
So you can build these entries up or these
Build 'em up,
possibilities,
bro.
and then we just put them in a random name generator, and I show that live so you guys can see. I hit the button. Everyone has the same exact chances, no favoritism. It's completely random, and I'll pick 2 different people. So 2 different people will get an entry for the Wrestle Rumble SummerSlam Pick'em contest, and the top prize, or the only prize, if you win the SummerSlam Pick'em contest over there at WrestleRumble.com, you get $500 cash and a replica WWF Winged Eagle Championship belt. So awesome prizes.
Yes, bitch.
Yes.
The money, yeah.
So yeah, we'll be keeping an eye on that throughout the show. But yeah, I guess we can start off with like the Thunderdome stuff that you were talking about. Like, and I know
Yes.
people. So I mean, I guess I like it in theory, the idea, like that they're trying to do something different, and maybe it'll be great. I don't know. I mean, I guess whatever they can do to try to freshen up the WWE product right now, like anything they can do, I got to give them credit for at least thinking outside the box and trying something different. And I can't judge it until I see what this actually looks like and how like the fan experience is and how it's different from just being a regular consumer through like the internet or through television and stuff like that. So kind of the verdict's out on it, but I mean, I respect the idea that they're trying to do something different.
Yeah, me too. My husband's popping popcorn in case you hear. Yes. What?
There's trees and the kids.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy, right? Hey, can you close that door? Can you hear that?
I could hear her. I couldn't hear the
Oh, you can't
the
hear the
popcorn.
popcorn? Damn, it's loud. Yeah, I think it's something different, just like Raw Underground. I'm here for different. I think this will help them immensely as far as the look. When you think WWE, you think grandiose, you think huge, you think spectacle. Whether it's going to be on WrestleMania caliber every week until October or whenever, I don't need that. WrestleMania is supposed to be special. I want it to continue to be special, but I'm really happy to see something different on a grander scale. This whole digital fan thing, LED board fan thing, I think it's going to be super cool. I cannot wait. I cannot wait for someone to fall asleep on their stream. I cannot wait for all the shenanigans. I know fans are super duper fickle and funny, and I hope that I don't know how they'll control that. I don't, but I hope that they, keep an eye out, because we don't need any like butts or anything on TV. You know what I mean? Like, so I think, or like middle fingers or stuff like that. So I think it'll be fun. It'll be really interesting. I'm interested to see how they're going to use drones. They said they're putting a roof on it. There's already a roof on the AMWAY Center, so I don't know if they're putting like their own roof, kind of like what they do for like WrestleMania, but inside the AMWAY Center. I've been to 2 or 3. I can't remember if it's 2 or 3. It's either 2 or 3 Raw shows at the Amway Center. So I know what it looks like. I know what the feel is. It's there's not really that much room, but I guess they're getting rid of a lot of space. They'll have a lot more space. But the pictures that were leaked look really cool. I'm just excited for something different. If it's raising, wrestler morale in the locker room is fired up, awesome. Love it. Something different. It'll be ridiculous and I'm happy.
Yeah, I saw some of those pictures, and it looks like looks like a roller coaster in there. Like it's just like just stuff all over the place, like all these different
Mhm.
rigs and uh rafters. Is that what they're called? Yeah, like rafter looking
Yeah.
things. Um, but yeah, I'm interested to see what that winds up looking like. It looks like people in the chat are pretty positive on the idea.
Mhm.
And what's up, Throwback? See Throwback in the chat. Terrell, what's up, man?
Yeah.
Craig, everybody. I think Corey was in here earlier. Might still be. Everyone
Yeah.
who's all the regular viewers. We appreciate y'all a lot.
Yes.
And that's like what Jesse said. Like literally, like, Craig. I see. Like I would like an entry. That's why we're like we
Yep.
give y'all
I got
chances at
Andrew
winning
and
free
Craig.
stuff for just telling us you want a chance at winning free stuff. You know what I mean? So we appreciate y'all. Yeah, I really don't have a whole lot more to say about the Thunderdome though, because we just really don't know. I guess so. I believe it's going to be right SmackDown, SummerSlam, and then are they going to try to do it for like Raw or like SmackDown every week after that, or is it just?
It's gonna be live according to Bud Dyer, or I was gonna say our mayor, um, the mayor of Orlando. They've got the Amway Center until the end of October, I believe. According to him, it's gonna be live every Monday and Friday at the Amway Center. I'm assuming Payback's gonna be there. That that's obviously SummerSlam's gonna be there, but whatever's gonna be there. I think it's great. Also another thing, I think it's also really good for the city of Orlando because it's adding jobs to the Amway Center. Because think about it, the Amway Center's been sitting there empty for however long, and now these people have jobs. I think that's great. The city of Orlando has seen a huge economic kind of crisis right now because a lot of the hotels are empty. Orlando thrives on tourism, so I think it's fantastic and good on WWE for doing that and adding jobs. So who knows?
Yeah, I totally agree. Throwback with the super chat. Thanks, man.
Throwback. Oh man,
Um,
thank you. Oh my God, thank you so much. Do you throwback? You want 6 entries? Is that okay?
yeah, so
I don't know.
we'll give
Yeah,
the basically like he donated $10 twice. So yeah, give him six
yeah.
chances there. Um,
Thank you so much, Throwback. That really means a lot. Thank you so much, man. That is selfless. Thank you.
yeah,
That's a lot. Thank you.
very much appreciated. Throwback says WWE wise, NXT and SmackDown were really good, but after Raw last Monday, not yesterday, it was a thud. I'm hoping that something better happens. Also, stop with the camera angles. It's gonna make me have a
Right.
seizure. Much love. Yeah, yeah. The camera cuts are
A problem.
sickening. Yeah, it's annoying, and it's also like because like Raw Underground, for instance, they obviously use a ton of cuts for that, and so I'm obviously a big UFC fan, and I had my brother and my stepbrother, who are both like mega fans, over at my house, or my condo, I should say, at for Saturday for this UFC show, UFC 252. We're watching the show, and like before the show starts, um, I had told my stepbrother about Raw Underground because he doesn't watch pro wrestling, but he was like, okay,
Mhm.
I gotta see what this is. And we were watching it, and of course he thought it was really corny, and like I expected that, but I just wanted to show it to him just to see what he thought of it as like an outsider looking in, and um, and he was like, it's like all he could talk about is like the camera keeps cutting. He's like, are they trying to make it look like they're hitting each other when they aren't? Like I
Yep.
don't understand why they keep cutting the camera over. Like he mentioned it without me even bringing it up. And then another point he made, which I thought was actually really really funny. He was like, what audience are they actually going for with this? Is it like, are they going for people who are watching this
Yeah.
and they're like, oh yeah, like now, like they're gonna tell their friends like, oh man, WWE's got fighting now. You gotta tune into Raw to watch the fights. Like, are they trying to like?
Yeah.
He didn't understand.
Retain their audience.
Right,
Yeah.
he didn't get it. He was like, so are they trying to show them that this is like supposed to be real, and then like the wrestling isn't supposed to be real? It's like what my brother had said
Oh
last week and
no.
stuff, and it's like he
Yeah.
was very confused by the whole thing. He's like, this clearly isn't a real fight, but like are they trying to actually convince people these are real fights? But then if they're doing that, then what's the rest of the show supposed to be? Like, and it was like very good, very valid points from somebody who literally does not watch any pro wrestling, watched it back in the Attitude Era, you know, in like the late 90s, but like
Didn't.
right, exactly. But he doesn't watch it at all now, but he watches every UFC show every weekend. So he was like, he's an MMA fan that was incredibly confused at what he was looking at. So yeah, the camera angles I think are a really, really big problem right now. I totally agree with that throwback. Do you have anything else to add to that, Jessi, for throwback's question?
Yeah.
It's not really a question, more of a statement.
Yeah, I completely agree about the camera angles. It's a damn problem. Sorry, I keep adjusting this. It's like not wanting to stay in my ear. It's, as a pregnant woman, it's nauseating. Like, it's really, there are times when I have to like look away when I don't want to. I want to watch Raw Underground. I like Raw Underground. I think it's funny. I don't take it seriously. Everyone hates on it, but that's fine. I'm not gonna poo-poo on you for not liking it. But I think it's fun, it's different. I just don't take it as serious as probably WWE is intending me to, but I think that's what makes it so much, like, better.
I mean, it's easily my favorite part of the show every week.
Oh,
like,
man.
I mean, and
Yeah.
obviously, I think it's really cheesy. I think the whole thing is really cheesy, but it's at least something presented differently that at least is trying to come across as legitimate. I don't know. I mean, it's just one of those things where honestly, I wouldn't be watching Raw at all right now, probably, if it wasn't for Raw Underground, because I'm interested to see like
Yeah.
what they do. Although, like, I'm not gonna lie, when Arturo Ruas and Riddick Moss had their fight, right? So this was something I'll pull it up right here. I called.
He
for
looks
this.
like Wolverine Dean Ambrose, Riddick Moss.
Yeah, you're totally right.
Messing with my brain.
So last week I said that I was like, give us Riddick Moss versus Arturo Ruas. Like I'm starting to call these Raw Underground fights, you know, before they happen, because like this is becoming like a real sport to me. Like I want to see some rankings. And I was looking forward to this fight, and then they fight to a no contest in a fight with no rules. Nobody wins. It didn't make any sense at all. I was like, how could you possibly have a no contest? Like the fight ended because Shane was just like, "This is sick. This is sick. Yeah, this is sick," and just kept saying that until the fight was over. And all I can figure is maybe they're trying to make a tag team out of Ruas and Riddick Moss. Like I think they're gonna try to use. I think they're gonna try to use Raw Underground to like create a different type, like a new kind of group of stars. Not necessarily like a faction, but like, you know, I could see, you know, Dolph Ziggler versus, you know, one of the Viking Raiders, you know, on Raw in a match because they have a beef from Raw Underground and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So maybe they're going to use it in that way, which I'm okay with. And then Nia Jax getting in there is interesting.
Yeah, what the hell?
Well, it was funny because, you know, the whole crowd just like,
out.
Yeah, she's scared, and it's like, okay. But what I really want to see is her and oh, sorry, I cut off part of the there we go. You see that better now. I want to see her and Shayna in the Underground, and I want to see Shayna stiffer, because it's like,
yes,
right, because Nia talked all this shit about Ronda and how she could like really take her, and Shayna's gonna take exception to that. You know what I mean? And like maybe Shayna kind of gets a vengeance for these other women who have just been, you know, unsafely thrown around and injured by this woman over the years, and somebody's got to teach her that lesson, and I'd like to see her and Shayna go at it. So I saw we have another super chat throwback. If you want to read that out, Jessi.
Thank you, throwback. I added 2 more entries. Again, guys, if you want a free Wrestle Rumble entry, just say I would like an entry and then chat. So far, I have Andrew Barker, Craig Foster, and Throwback, basically. Throwback with the runaway right now. So if you would like a free entry, just say I would like an entry in the chat, and we'll put your name in, and good luck. And if you'd like 2 extra entries, then super chat, and then anything $10 or up, you get 3. So Throwback's got like a gajillion extras, but if you just want 1 for free for nothing, just say I would like an entry. But thank you again so much, Throwback. It really means a lot. Like, seriously, thank you. You have no idea. Thank you, Throwback. It says, with 3 out of the 4 horsewomen of MMA on Raw Underground, could this mean they're trying to entice Ronda to come back? Could Raw Underground possibly lead to the dream match everyone wants? That's what I was getting at last night. I thought this was teasing. Well, what's weird is they didn't even. What kind of disappointed me was they didn't even have those two show up on Raw Underground. They showed Shayna talking with them backstage on, like, not Underground, like during regular ass Raw, which I would have liked to see
But
them
then,
just.
well, they did go to the underground though.
They
Did you
did go
miss? Yeah, yeah. After Shane talked to him, yeah.
yeah, afterwards, yeah. But they were showing them beforehand. I was like, what? And then I knew, I guess it was to get you to tune into Underground, perhaps. But yeah, I think that would be a great way. It is kind of like I said I want Ronda Rousey to be in Underground last night. That was one of my tweets. I was like, please, because that's the perfect place for Ronda Rousey. It makes sense. I mean, it seems very WWE of WWE to create this whole ass gimmick, this whole Raw Underground thing, just to have Ronda Rousey debut. Just like Retribution to me is just an excuse to turn out the lights so Ric Flair can get punted. But, or just, whatever that whole point is. I don't know. But there's a point to it. There has to be. So I think that would be really cool. I think that would be fantastic. Could it well, I mean, Becky Lynch is, gotta have a baby first. So I don't know if it'll be off the cards for a while, but I'm in for a long, drawn out storyline with beef. It'd be a cool way to get Becky Lynch to come back whenever she feels like coming back, if she does. Or they just replace her. I don't know. I don't think they should, but it would definitely be something that I'm interested in seeing, and I think it would lead to a pretty dope match for next year's WrestleMania.
Yeah, totally agree. Throwback, thanks again for that.
Thank you, Throwback. Have a great night.
Yeah, man, have a good one. And yeah, dude, I've been checking out your shows for sure. So yeah, I'll continue to tune in. I appreciate the support. I'm gonna try to
Yes,
hit you back with some of that support as well, man. And to answer your question really quick, Throwback, if you're still there, I think that I think that Ronda coming back and being a part of Ronda Underground would be great. And I think if they could build the 4 of them in Underground, and then that eventually leads to a big 4 horsewomen versus 4 horsewomen match that everyone's wanted when Becky's ready to come back and all that, I think that'd be great. I think he says I want to make you mods. Yeah, I'd be happy to mod over your channel.
My mod.
Yeah, go for it. You got it.
Yeah, there you go.
But you can tell with Raw Underground, they're really trying to build certain people, and I'm sure there's going to be more coming that they're going to like try to do stuff with. But like Davikato, you can tell they're like clearly trying to like make him something through Raw Underground. I think it's going to really help Shane out going forward. It could really help Marina Shafir and Jessamine Duke, because I really don't think they're very good at pro wrestling. They've been doing it for long enough at this point that I think they should be a lot better than where they're at. This is my personal opinion. Because I feel like if they were, they would have been like way more heavily featured in NXT at this point, because there's opportunity there. And but this could help them out tremendously, because they can get over on the Underground, just going in there and like legitimately beating everyone up, and then when they show up on Raw or SmackDown or wherever they wind up wrestling, on the sport entertainment show, when they're wrestling instead of fighting, they're at least people know them from the fighting side when they start wrestling. So we got another super chat here from Craig Foster.
Woo-hoo!
Thank you,
yes,
Craig.
why don't you read it while I add his entries? Thank you so much, Craig. Thank you. That really means a lot. Thank you.
Yes, you got yourself 2 shots at the entry there, Craig, with that super chat. It says the whole segment with the 4 horsewomen was waste when Nia got involved. Can someone explain why people think she is good or even belongs in the ring? Yeah, I mean, I don't want to see her in the ring. I've been saying that for a long time. I don't think she's particularly entertaining. I don't think she's necessarily good on the microphone, good in the ring. She has size, which, I think that's it's valuable as long as you're not like hurting your opponents consistently. And she seems to have, a track record of consistently hurting opponents. So it seems like people don't like working with her. I know that she had that beef with Ronda that I mentioned earlier, where it's like, I don't know how real that beef is, but if it is, and she actually thinks she could actually beat up Ronda Rousey, she's completely delusional on top of all the other things I've already said. And there are other big women who are better than her, straight up. Like, if the WWE made a real attempt whenever like Jordan Grace is available, I know Jordan has a different, she's not the same size, but the same idea. A powerful woman who has a different kind of look, and Jordan Grace is awesome. Like, there are bigger women, even like Nyla Rose. I'm not big on Nyla Rose, but I'm probably bigger on Nyla Rose than I am Nia Jax. Like, if I had to compare the two,
Yeah.
I've probably been more
Oh,
entertained.
leaps and bounds.
Like, Nia Jax has had her moments in some good matches, but she's been carried big time in those. Like, she's had like, she had a good match with like Asuka and NXT and stuff, but I think most of it was because of how good Asuka is. Like, there's, and that's all to say, I'm not a Nia Jax fan. I never really have been. Even during the Breaking Ground show when she was training, I didn't like her then even, and it's just one of those things. I'm not a fan of hers, and I don't think she devalued the Raw Underground thing, Craig, because I do think that's going to lead to something. Like, Nia Jax will fight Shayna Baszler and probably those other women at some point on Raw Underground. I think they're just kind of trying to slow build it, and what I think they're also doing with it is because they're starting to advertise matches ahead of time. Like, they're going to do Ivar versus Ziggler, and they've started to tease Nia Jax. So I think they're trying to start to get you to anticipate certain matchups as a way to hype the show, because they really don't advertise Raw Underground until like right around 10 p.m. Eastern time on Mondays. Like, outside of that, there's not a whole lot of talk about it during the show. There's not a whole lot of talk about it on social media. So I think they're trying to get people to buzz about it by kind of getting these matchups and planted in your head ahead of time.
Yeah, I agree with that. As far as Nia Jax is concerned, I really appreciate Nia Jax for her body positivity, her influence on women of various sizes. She's a good influence and a good example that women of all sizes are A, completely gorgeous, B, they're not useless, they're not always like big monsters, and C, they can do things, they can be active and wrestle, and I appreciate that. I really do. But she's not my favorite. She's not my favorite. She has a reputation now, unfortunately. I she's got those two bad knees. She's hurt poor Kyrie Sane. She's a great heel. When she went in there, I was like, "Damn it, Nia Jax. Damn it, Nia Jax. You just keep." So she's fun to like root against in that aspect. So I guess I appreciate that. But it did kind of like make it a bummer. But I guess since she's not even good in the ring, I guess perhaps Raw Underground would be a great place for her, but she kind of pussed out. So that's interesting. It's an interesting dynamic. I think Raw Underground really does add a different dimension to Raw and the storylines in Raw, and I appreciate that for what it is. But yeah, she kind of ruined it for me. I was like, man.
Yeah, let's also not forget that Nia Jax is The Rock's cousin too. That helps tremendously.
Yes,
And this
I forgot about
and
that.
this is coming from somebody wearing a Roman Reigns t-shirt right now, so like
Yeah.
I get the hypocrisy with me saying that. But Roman Reigns, I think it's like clearly like super talented. I just think he's held back by the way that he's booked and scripted and stuff. But I think Roman Reigns is an awesome dude. I think he's super athletic. I think he's actually a really good pro wrestler, and
Yeah.
he just keeps getting put in bad positions by the company that I really don't think are his fault. Um, but Nia Jax on the flip side keeps getting put in positions that she seems to just drop the ball consistently. I'm just not into it. Anyway, moving on from that, what else we got WWE wise? I mean, we could talk like Takeover or SummerSlam or something
Yeah,
next.
let's talk. Let's do a little bit of SummerSlam. Let's do a little bit of SummerSlam because it's not quite finalized yet because we still have SmackDown. Let's just do a little bit of a little quick rundown prediction, kind of quickly, and then we'll go into NXT and AEW. That's unless someone super chats.
Yeah, for sure. If you send a super chat, you'll get shots at free entries at Wrestle Rumble for the SummerSlam Pick'em contest, and we'll also make sure to make your voice heard and talk about whatever you want us to talk about. So, yeah, I mean, we can just kind of go through these. We don't have to like dive deep on all of them, but kind of give some predictions because I probably won't really do a full-on prediction I'll probably count this as my prediction podcast. So, I guess starting at the top, like we have the Street Profits versus Andrade and Angel Garza. Like I'll say this, I really hate this storyline with the poisoning and stuff. I think it's really stupid.
Oh, bro.
And y'all can see my ghetto rig setup right now. By the way,
Yes.
I hope y'all like that. The money that you super chat is going directly into getting me a new mic stand. So I currently have DVDs and my extra mic on top of it, so I hope it sounds all right. But y'all can see
Sounds great.
Y'all can see how DIY this is right now, and I'm gonna leave it there as well. But yeah, I don't like the storyline. But I'll say this: like the Street Profits are obviously a solid tag team. Andrade, solid performer. I think Angel Garza is like the dude's like a gem. Like this guy could be like one of the top stars in the company. That guy's super talented, got a great look, great in the ring, good as a heel and a babyface. There's a lot of upside on Angel Garza, in my opinion. And I like his pairing with Selena Vega a lot. But that said, who do you think wins this match, Jessi? Who walks away the Raw Tag Team Champions at SummerSlam?
I think it's going to be the Street Profits because Bianca Belair is going to come and kick Zelina Vega's ass, causing Andrade and Angel Garza to freak the F out. And Street Profits retain via distraction.
I like that. I think that's probably exactly what'll happen. So I don't really have anything else to add to it. I think the match will be solid for the time it lasts, though, because
it'll be good.
You know, good tag teams. We're gonna come back to McIntyre and Orton. Apollo Crews and MVP. Love the Hurt Business. I think it's a great. I tweeted this as well, but I think it's three guys who are all veterans, like at veteran stages of their careers, all kind of on the, like, I mean, Bobby Lashley's still kind of in his prime, I guess. He's just been around a long time. You definitely got to consider him a veteran already at this point. And same with Shelton and MVP. But they all mutually benefit from being together, like on screen and just like theoretically. Like MVP is probably my favorite person on Raw right now. I think that his promos have been great. His matches have been solid, which is all you really need. His character's been great. The way he's talking up the Hurt Business, the way that he's trying to recruit other people like Cedric Alexander and Cruz before this. I really like what they're doing with MVP and this whole stable. New belt that obviously Apollo Crews carries that MVP introduced. I'm going to say that Apollo Crews retains because I don't think that they would have they'll switch it back and forth so much. But I'd be totally fine with MVP. I'd love to see MVP with the U.S. title, Shelton with that 24/7 title, and Lashley finally getting a real, getting an actual world title run. He deserves it at some point. I mean, those guys I think are great. But I'm going to take Apollo to win. Who do you think wins this one, Jessi?
I'm going to differ. I'm going to say MVP wins just because the Hurt Business is looking so powerful. Unless it's some kind of shenanigans BS, there's outside interference, Ollie or, Bobby Lash, and they fight on the outside or something. And there's something like that kind of happens, or, Shelton Benjamin tries to pull some business and then Ollie comes out there or whatever, kind of like with Zelina Vega-ish. Kind of that whole thing in Bianca Belair. I think that MVP, I mean, either way, it's fine, but I really do think that MVP could benefit from the win, even though he's already got that one belt. It's fine, but the Hurt Business looks legit, feels legit, is pretty legit, and to solidify them as legit, have MVP out there and win that U.S. Championship the right way, because he keeps talking smack about how he didn't get it, and I mean, it would really suck for Apollo Crews, though. So, but I think I don't know. Maybe it would, it'd be nice as if Mustafa Ali could get a shot at the U.S. title. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah,
Somehow through this.
yeah,
I don't know. We'll see.
I definitely think they should be doing more with Ali as well.
Yeah.
I so like what I'm afraid of with Apollo is like it really depends. I feel like if the WWE really like does the WWE see value in him or not? Like this is the chance to make that real decision because he's not gonna get over and stay over if he loses this match because he's been made out to be like kind of a fluke champ. I don't want to call him a fluke champion because he's like legitimately won a lot of these matches, but it's one of those things where like it seems like he's kind of a fluke champion or he's kind of like this happy-go-lucky like I'm just happy to be the champ, and
he's happy to be here.
Right, yeah. And he keeps getting beat up at like every turn. Even when he wins matches, he's getting beat up by the Hurt Business. So like if he doesn't beat MVP and he loses that title and they move on from that, and Apollo Crews is in the same exact spot he was in before all this, which MVP actually alluded to in his promo on Monday. He was talking about you've been stopped and started so many times, and that's the honest truth. That's why I thought the promo was so good. He was out there actually spitting facts. So, and then one thing too about the Hurt Business that I don't like, and this isn't their fault, this is 100% the booking, is I don't know why they haven't been showing up to Raw Underground every week and doing what they did the first week of it. Like, why aren't they still showing up and just taking it over? Like, there should be a thing going right now where the Hurt Business is like taking bets from people and paying people off to lose fights and like having Lashley go in there and like take people out and like there's all these storylines on Raw Underground that I felt like they were starting. And then they just, I feel like we haven't seen them in the Raw Underground since the first week, and I don't understand.
Yeah. Yeah, I fully agree with you. I keep expecting them to show up and, like, be there and just whoop on everyone. Doesn't happen, which is, I guess, okay because, I mean, there's more stuff happening. But it is kind of bizarre how they just went in there, laid a whooping on everybody, and then just noped out. And now, maybe it's because they're focusing on the U.S. Championship match. Maybe it's because they're trying to focus on this match. Maybe perhaps if MVP wins, he's got all these belts. Maybe he's going to go in there. Maybe they're thinking we need to do some championship business with this Hurt Business and not some underground business with the Hurt Business. Because there's still really no gold in the underground. So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, that was a really cool dynamic storyline that I was interested in that just kind of disappeared, as is typical with WWE, which doesn't surprise me. However, eh, I mean, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I mean, a lot can happen at SummerSlam. It's SummerSlam. It's a big pay-per-view. I expect big things to happen at SummerSlam, so who knows?
Moving on, we got what was the next one? Dominic Mysterio taking on Seth Rollins in a street fight. They've obviously been building this one up a lot. And this goes back to, obviously Seth Rollins' feud with Rey Mysterio and the whole eyeball thing and all this stuff. I'll say this. Dominic took a hell of a lashing last week. I mean,
Yeah.
and I think that was pretty obviously him getting that was basically him paying his dues as quickly as possible. It was like you're on Raw, you're leapfrogging a lot of people's careers without having done much yourself. And most people have to work on the indies for a long time for no money, for a hot dog and a handshake, and may never have a chance at ever getting in the WWE or making real money doing this. And you're about to be in there against Seth Rollins, who's one of the faces of the company. Obviously, he's a heel, but one of like the faces of the company. I think that was their way of trying to have him pay his dues as quick as possible because he went in there and he got the shit beat out of him. And
Dude, oh my God.
He showed me a lot there. What do you think about this match, and who do you think wins?
Who I'd like to see win is Dominic, clearly. Seth Rollins got that win over Rey Mysterio. Solid win, I guess. I don't know, vomit and eyes. And Seth Rollins does seem to definitely be dominating, like just completely demolishing and owning Rey Mysterio and fam. There's a lot of like legend like beating up right now in WWE. Like there's a lot of people just like laying the hurt on a lot of WWE legends right now. But regardless, I would like to see Dominic Mysterio win. However, it is his first match and happens to be on SummerSlam, which really, to me, tells me how much WWE sees in Dominic Mysterio. And I think, I follow him on Twitter. I've been looking at his training. He's clearly a phenomenal wrestler. He's clearly very talented. Clearly can take a beating and get up. And I don't know if they filmed the whole this kendo stick part before or after, but he can take a beating and then beat other people. It's amazing, and it really did show me, and it gave me a lot of respect for Dominic. I'm really excited for it. I'd really like to see Dominic get the win. However, I don't know. I feel like every loss that Seth Rollins takes just weakens him more. It makes him seem less credible. So it's definitely a really interesting fight. There's a lot of outside interference that could happen at SummerSlam here, but I'm down with it. I don't care. I'm going Dominic.
Yeah, it's interesting because I feel like Seth, like you said, I feel like Seth can't afford to keep losing matches especially to someone like Dominic who isn't even, he's a part of the roster, but he's like just kind of being introduced as like an actual wrestler on the show. Like we've seen him before. Obviously we saw him years and years ago with the Eddie Guerrero storyline, Eddie is your poppy whole deal. But like him as an actual wrestler, like we've seen him in there getting thrown around by Brock. And he bumps his ass off. Dominic sells like a mother. Like that guy is, so here's my thing. I don't know how good Dominic is yet. There's just no way of like really knowing how good he actually is. If he is as good as I hope he is, and if because to be fair to this kid, he has serious shoes to fill. His dad
the pressure.
Yeah, his dad is probably the best luchador in history. You can make arguments for other people, but he's probably the best luchador ever, and he's got to be the most well-known ever, like worldwide. And he's been doing it for so long. Rey Mysterio is an absolute legend. He might be one of the 10 best wrestlers of all time, in my opinion, for like of any point in time. Rey Mysterio is the man. And Dominic is coming in and getting a big push very quickly. But I also don't think they'd put him out there if they weren't confident he could live up to it. I feel like Dominic might be really, really good. And if he is, I'm okay with him beating Seth Rollins. If he can be a future, like a legitimate future star for them, somebody that but the kind of the problem here, and the reason I am going to pick Seth Rollins to win the match, is you have a lot of young talent with more experience than Dominic already there right now. And I don't know if they're trying to put Dominic right, because basically if Dominic beats Seth Rollins, he's essentially like an upper mid-card or main eventer immediately.
Former world champion. I didn't think about that.
Right, and then you got to look at someone and I'm not trying to draw the comparisons because of their ethnicity, but I am because it makes sense. Like Humberto Carrillo, for instance. That guy's been with the WWE for years. He's proven himself over and over. He's gotten pushes, and then those have been stopped for reasons that weren't his own. And he's super talented, and we know he's talented. And for someone like Dominic, for instance, if he got pushed kind of above someone like Humberto, it's kind of But I gotta be honest though, and I say the same about MJF because it's his own slogan, but talent versus tenure. If Dominic actually is that good, I don't really care if he's been around for a short amount of time. I want to see the best wrestlers on my show. So
very good point. Yes.
So the verdict's just out for Dominic. If he goes in there and has a killer match with Seth Rollins, I'll be super happy because there's a lot they can do with Dominic long term. They have eventually a storyline with him turning on Rey. I think would be so good, especially.
Yes, I was waiting for it last night. Oh man!
Especially if they do the longest long play storyline ever, and he admits that Eddie Guerrero was his dad this whole time, and he just Dominic Guerrero and just totally turns on totally turns on Rey. Or they can embrace it too. I would love to see Dominic wearing Latino heat trunks or something when he wrestles or something like that. They can really pay a lot of homage to these guys and stuff, which I think Dominic could be similar to Cody. I had a lot of really high hopes for Cody in the WWE to carry on the Rhodes legacy, and now he's doing it in AEW. But Dominic, I mean, if Dominic's good in the ring, he has a super, super, super bright future, I think. So, but as far as a prediction, I just feel like I can't go against Seth Rollins right now, against him at this point. But if Dominic looks good in the ring and he wins, I'll be fine with it.
Yeah.
Moving on, we got Sasha Banks.
We can kind of group both of these together.
Yeah, definitely. I guess, I mean, I don't really have to go over the storyline here. Everybody knows, Sasha and Bayley have all the titles. Basically, like, I'm on the fence. I feel like either Asuka's going to win both of these or she's going to win neither of them. If she wins neither of them, it kind of makes her look kind of like a doofus because she's getting, multiple chances. And so I feel like she needs to get the job done at least one of these two matches. But why would they take just one of the belts off of that group? So it's hard. It's hard to know. And then if they give both belts to Asuka, then what? Do you unify the belts again? Do you do the Becky 2 belts thing again where she's just on both shows? I don't know. I have no idea. And this is the toughest thing about like Wrestle Rumble to me, this pick'em contest, because if we have
want to go over how to enter again just in case?
Yeah, basically, and I know like Jay Jeezy's been saying he wants an entry.
You have an entry already, okay, and Terrell as well.
Perfect. Yeah, basically, if you say you want an entry in the chat, you get basically we put you on a list and then we do a random pick to give away free entries. We're gonna give away 2 free entries at the end of the show, but you can basically just let us know in the chat that you want a free shot at an entry. If you do a super chat, you get 2 shots at an entry. If you send more than $10, you get 3 shots at an entry, and that's for every $10 you spend. So if you spend $20, you get 6 shots, basically, like Throwback did earlier. And if I don't know what the questions list is going to look like yet for Wrestle Rumble, but if they have these 2 matches on there, this is going to be the hardest thing for me to choose because it's going to be like all or nothing. Like I'm going to either go Asuka to win both belts or Asuka to win neither belt, and in each scenario you're putting that's 2 full matches on the line there. They're either going to get both of them right or get both of them wrong, and that can make or break your entire. I'm going to say Asuka wins both belts. Screw it. Like, whoa. Screw it. Like, because it doesn't make. They can't have her go in there and lose. Because if they do, then what? Like, and they can do Shayna and Asuka for the belt, which would be awesome. Which they're teasing already. So, I don't know. I'm okay with any outcome. But I like Asuka the most of these 3, and I'd like to see her get the belt. So that's just my personal opinion. What do you think is going to happen in these?
Okay, here's what I think is going to happen, and this can be flipped for either Sasha or Bayley, but it makes more sense for Bayley because Bayley and Sasha have gone to great freaking lengths to keep these belts any way possible. I think what's going to happen is somehow Bayley does something. There's some shenanigans in the first fight. So in the first match or whatever, whichever one's first, I would assume Sasha Banks is going to be first. If Sasha Banks is first, Bayley's going to do something, distract Asuka, and Asuka's going to lose. Sasha retains. However, when it comes to Bayley versus Asuka, I think Sasha's going to burn her. I think Sasha's going to leave her behind. Bayley's going to look, she's going to be the one that gets the short end of the stick again. And Bayley's going to lose. And I think that Asuka gets the SmackDown title. That's the SmackDown title. No, is it SmackDown? Yeah, it's SmackDown. She's going to get the SmackDown title. And this could lead to Bayley turning on Sasha.
I like it. I like all the scenarios here.
Yeah, or vice versa.
Good deal. I can see that happening as well. I mean, we've been wanting the Sasha Bayley thing for a while now, like a legitimate feud, and maybe that's the way to kickstart it. We got another super chat. Dylan's wrestling stuff with the $10.
Dylan. Thank you.
So you got 3 shots at an entry for Wrestle Rumble. We'll make sure to put your name on the list 3 times.
I'm going to. Right now, you read it while I find my notes.
Dylan says, "Hey guys, I got something I gotta say. weren't they even trying last night on Raw for the go home show? Question mark. That was absolutely terrible. I mean, yeah, I know a lot of people are saying that. Honestly, it's one of these things, man, and I'm not trying to attack anybody or any specific age demographic or male, female, or anything like that when I say this, and I've said it on the show before. When I watch Raw, I go into it understanding that it's a PG show that's for children and little girls, and it's like a sports entertainment show.
Raw is not for little girls.
It is for little girls. Raw is definitely for little girls. Why would you have so much women's wrestling on the show if it wasn't also for... I'm not saying it's just for little girls. I'm saying like little... Like they're trying to...
Little boys like watching girls wrestle.
Yeah, so it's for little boys and little girls. It's a PG show.
Little boys and girls.
Okay,
yeah.
listen.
I think little girls.
Sorry.
I think...
because in the Attitude Era, that show is not for little girls.
No.
That's the point. That's the point I'm trying to make. Is like it's a demographic shift from that. So like I go into it knowing there's going to be things on the show that are targeted towards children, for little girls and little boys. They're gonna have some stuff on there kind of for the adults, which is I think is where they're trying to grab more of like the Raw Underground, like the teenagers and like the people who are familiar with mixed martial arts and that kind of stuff. They're trying to spread it out so like every demographic is covered. Whereas a show like Real Housewives, for instance, they say, who cares? Like, their demographic is strictly, like, women, right? Or I'm sure there's some guys who watch it, but it's clearly, like, they're not trying to appeal to, like, an MMA crowd with Desperate Housewives. You know what I mean? So I say...
Some of those fights are pretty dope.
Well, I mean, like I said, I'm sure there is a fan base for it, but I mean, you can apply that to a lot of stuff. Like, there's plenty of things that are, like, made mainly just for guys. You know, like, I'm sure, like, there's like shows about like restoring your truck that like not a whole lot of women are that interested in, and like it's probably dudes spitting tobacco into a cup while they're talking. You know what I'm saying? Like there's different demographics. So that's all to say, I really didn't have a problem with Raw. Like, it wasn't great, but it's just kind of par for the course of what I expect out of Raw at this point. If I'm looking like, if I want to get pumped for a show and I want good wrestling and good storylines, something that I really look forward to, I watch AEW. Like, I get really excited for that. Even like tonight, Impact Wrestling, I'm pretty excited for. Impact's been putting on a good show. They've been putting on good wrestling with good storylines. Like, except for Wrestle House, which I think is garbage, but most of the show's pretty great. You know, so like, I just kind of... So Dylan, I guess kind of answer your question. It's only... I feel like you can only be that disappointed in the show if you go into it with those kind of expectations. And my expectations are just at a really low level going into the show. So I didn't have a problem with it because I kind of expected a show like that, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I thank you so much, Dylan, by the way, for your super chat. It's very, very much appreciated. Thank you so much, Dylan. You're so reliable and awesome. Really means a lot. Yeah, I felt I was like, this is the go home show, but then I'm like, oh yeah, this is the go home show in like a pandemic. So I feel like all the hype that we should have seen last night was taken to like the Thunderdome hype. Like, they're like, oh, well, yeah, clearly we can't build too much to our stories, so we're just gonna put the Thunderdome. So I think more people are excited about the Thunderdome than the actual like stories, which is fine. So I kind of agree. I thought the last part with Shawn Michaels, that was last night, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. That was fine. So I like that. I liked Raw Underground. And I know you say you don't like Raw Underground. That's fine. I know a lot of people hate it. At this point, I just can't take Raw seriously, which sucks, I guess. But like you said, if I want to watch really good wrestling, I'm just going to go watch AEW, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
So,
there's indie promotions out there. You get independentwrestling.tv. There's literally hundreds of companies that are putting on. If you want to watch like actual professional wrestling, then like I can still get pro wrestling. Plenty of places. The WWE is not really providing it too well for me, but honestly, it makes the shows a lot more fun when you go into it with that expectation. To be honest, like when I watch Raw and I'm just sitting there and I drink I do a couple like double shot of vodka drinks and and do my deal that my pregame ritual and stuff. And I hang out and I just look at Twitter and just watch people lose their mind and just, and then I kind of troll and poke the bear a little bit here and there. And it's
Yes, that
fun.
was so funny.
It's
yesterday.
fun. Oh yeah, yesterday I forgot about that.
So great.
Yesterday there were people actually messaging me, seeing if I knew the inside story on John Jones signing with Raw Underground, and I was like, that's why I made like that second tweet, which I felt like was pretty unnecessary to actually have to do that. And it's not like I got a whole lot of traction. It was just one of those things where like enough people asked me that I was like, okay, I'm gonna like just put this out there. Like I thought I was very clearly joking about John Jones coming to Raw Underground. Like I thought that was obviously a joke.
I think Marty, will you check your PayPal?
Yeah, we got a. I got that on my end. Marty D. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Yes, Marty. Gave you how many entries? 3.
3. He did a $10, and I have his comment here that I can read out.
Okay. Yes.
Marty says Bayley retains, but Sasha loses due to Bayley interference.
Oh, that's true. She could interfere to make Sasha lose.
Yeah, that's possible as well. I think you're right.
I like that.
And then Marty also says Ross sucked so bad I flipped to Atlanta Braves. So
Ooh.
So he preferred to watch professional baseball instead of.
Thank you, Marty, and thank you, Dylan. Thank you so much for your input. I really do appreciate it.
Yes, 100%. And Dylan, yeah, we appreciate you, man. You're a loyal viewer here, so thank you. Moving on to the show, we have Braun Strowman versus The Fiend, Bray Wyatt. This is a singles match for the Universal Championship. Yeah, I'm sure there will be another layer to this on Friday before the pay-per-view, so there's probably something else that'll happen in this story.
Sure.
But we talked pretty heavily about this last week, so if y'all want like our full thoughts on the whole like Alexa Bliss, Braun Strowman, Fiend stuff going on, we talked about it a lot on the last podcast. So I'm going to keep my that's all I'm going to say about it. Like, who do you think is going to win this match? Like, who walks away Universal Champion?
The Fiend? Please, God. Please, get me out of my misery. Like, I think Alexa turns on Braun for sure. Teams up with The Fiend for some reason. And Braun Strowman looks like a doofus and fades away.
Yeah, I hope The Fiend wins.
Mm-hmm.
I think the storyline's awful. I just think it's awful. I don't watch SmackDown. I have to be transparent and totally fair about it. I don't watch SmackDown. I haven't watched SmackDown since the Fox debut because I wanted to see. I had on good authority Cain Velasquez was going to be there, and I wanted to see Cain Velasquez debut and see kind of where that went. And I haven't watched since, but I do keep up loosely through the WWE YouTube channel. It'll show a lot of the match finishes and a lot of the stuff going on in the storylines and stuff. So I still kind of keep up with it without having to watch the shows. And from what I've seen of the Braun Strowman Fiend stuff, I think it's been really lame. I thought their last match was really lame, like that whole like swamp match or whatever. Yeah, so Strowman as champion doesn't do it for me. Maybe if they like, I don't know. I don't know what they can do to salvage it at this point. So I hope the Fiend wins just because I like Bray Wyatt better as an overall performer, I guess. But yeah, don't really care. Dylan, also, I see you said WWE and Fox are interested in signing Daniel Cormier. I'd imagine you mean as a commentator. I doubt. I mean, he might want to wrestle. I mean, Cain Velasquez could pull it off. I don't know why Daniel Cormier wouldn't be able to. But and Cain, for those of you who don't know, Daniel Cormier and Cain Velasquez are best friends, training partners. So I'd be totally fine with Daniel Cormier coming over and trying commentary though, because I think anything they can do to bring more legitimacy as far as like Cormier being, you know, a former heavyweight and light heavyweight UFC champion. Fox used to have the UFC on their programming. Like, he'd be a familiar face with a legitimate background. And Cormier is a lifelong professional wrestling fan. Like, he goes to WrestleMania.
That's right.
Yeah, he's a huge Seth Rollins fan. Like, he wears Seth Rollins shirts and stuff all the time. So, like, a lot of people don't know this. This is a kind of a fun fact that very few people know, I feel like. before Daniel Cormier signed with before Daniel Cormier fought for the UFC, he fought for a company called Strikeforce. Before he signed with Strikeforce, he was in negotiations to sign and wrestle for TNA. Like, he came really close.
What?
He came really close to doing pro wrestling before he wound up signing, because he was an amateur wrestler. He was on the U.S. Olympic team, and then he was going to go from that, kind of do the Kurt Angle thing and go into pro wrestling. And then he wound up having a lot of success in mixed martial arts, and stuck with it and didn't make the transition back into pro wrestling. But there's actually an old Impact show, I think during the time that they were on the Fox Sports Net, where I remember Daniel Cormier being front row and them actually being like, this is the U.S. Olympian Daniel Cormier, and the whole deal. And like, so that's a long way of saying Cormier, I think, could be valuable to the WWE as a commentator, because he is a massive fan and he has a lot of interest in it.
Yeah.
So yeah, moving on this show, we got two more to talk about, because I'll go back to Orton and McIntyre. I did not realize Mandy Rose versus Sonya Deville was a hair versus hair match until just now.
Yeah, it's a hair versus hair.
I'll make a quick prediction and just say I'm going to guess that Mandy Rose wins, because I just feel like it's less likely that we see her lose her hair than Sonya, just for whatever reason. I don't know why that is. It was similar to like when Edge and Kurt Angle wrestled each other in a hair versus hair match. It was kind of hard to picture Edge bald, but like I could kind of like Sonya Deville. I don't know. I mean this as a compliment. She kind of have like the G.I. Jane thing going for her. You know what I mean? She probably looked good with no hair. Like, to be honest, like, and so would Mandy too. But
would.
I can just see Sonya doing it. I just can't see Mandy in my head. But who knows? I think both women are beautiful. Don't want to get that mixed up. I think both can pull off whatever. It just, in my mind, I can see Sonya. I can't see Mandy. I just can't see it. But who you got in this one?
I'm gonna go with a no DQ, or it's gonna be a DQ, and no one has to lose their hair.
Well, that's a pretty simple answer. Moving on.
Just because I just don't feel like with females, you know, I mean, Mandy kind of already lost her hair. I mean, she got her extensions pulled out, or she got her hair cut. So but then again, honestly, like, just because of what's happened with Sonya Deville, like, poor woman, like, Jesus Christ, that's scary as hell.
Yeah,
I feel like maybe they'll, oh God, I got chills. I literally just got goosebumps. I don't know if you can tell my arm.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, like, that just freaked me the fuck out. Like, seriously, that's why I have cameras all over my home. And ladies, arm yourselves. That's all I'll say.
What a dumb school too. Like, I mean, like, Sonya Deville is, she's like a legitimate MMA fighter. Like, also, I mean, like, obviously if someone has like a gun, that doesn't really mean a whole lot, but like,
oh God,
but you know what I'm saying? Like, they went in after somebody who like absolutely can defend themselves.
Beat their ass, like, for sure. So
Dylan's
I don't
wrestling.
know. Yes. So
Dylan's
yeah, that's
wrestling
what I
stuff.
say. Possibly one of my favorite storylines right now. They're going to steal the show at SummerSlam. I'll give you 2 extra entries. What do you say about that?
I guess he's referring to Mandy and Sonya.
Yes.
Once again, I just haven't been watching SmackDown. So I knew they were feuding, and I've kept up with it loosely, but it's good to hear, though, man. Like, because I do respect your opinion on wrestling, Dylan. So it's something where if you think it's good, it has me more excited to be excited for the match. So I'm glad there's something you're looking forward to here.
Yeah, I think that's great. I completely agree. I think they've been feuding for kind of quite a while, so it could be like this built-up tension kind of thing. They could just whoop on each other. Could be really good. I think both of them are very talented. I think Sonya Deville is. Oh God, my child's friend is outside. Anyways, sorry, I wasn't talking about this, but I think that Sonya Deville is fantastic. So, yeah, I think that's great, and I think that's a bold prediction, but I think that you never know, and I think it could be good. That would be really cool. I would love to see it. I would really love to see it, Dylan. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Dylan. Very much appreciated. Well, moving on, we got the main event. Drew McIntyre defending the WWE Championship against Randy Orton.
Ooh.
This is a story that I think has been built very, very well. And
Lord, yeah.
they've done a great job of putting all this heat on Orton and McIntyre. I've been pretty critical of his title reign, but it's, once again, this is all things outside of his like, he can't help this stuff. Like, he can't help that there's a pandemic. He can't help there's not fans in the seats. He's going out there and having the best matches he can. He's had good matches. Like, he's a good champion. He checks every box. He's got size, wrestling ability. His mic works great. Like, he got the look, everything. I mean, it's just, they're putting a lot of stock back into Randy Orton, and Randy Orton's doing the best work of his career right now, in my opinion. So, who do you see walking away the WWE champion coming out of SummerSlam, McIntyre or Orton?
Randy Orton. If Dylan's right, Randy can't lose. He's murdered legends. He's invaded, basically, with dominance. It really sucks for Drew McIntyre. Really sucks. None of this is his fault. He is a fantastic persona. He's a fantastic person. He's a fantastic champion. Unfortunately, he needs fans. A brand new first-time babyface champion needs fans. And unfortunately, we're not going to have fans for a while. When we get fans back, I'd love to see him win that championship right back. I would love to see it. Get that revenge on Randy Orton. But right now, especially with the ratings so low, nothing to do with him. Not his fault. Poor old Drew McIntyre. Randy Orton has to win. Has to win.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Orton has to win as well. And I think we talked about it on the last podcast as well, but like, when it comes to the rating stuff, like you said, it's just, I mean, this stuff isn't Drew McIntyre's fault, but I do think that Vince is probably looking at it thinking that Randy Orton can at least help move the needle up a little bit more because people are more familiar with him, maybe more buzz about him and kind of what he's been doing and trying to get, the Ric Flair stuff out there and the Shawn Michaels stuff. I was really disappointed to see Shawn Michaels' hair, by the way. You hate seeing it.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy, for y'all who might not understand, all right, I'll peel back the curtain a little bit on kind of my life. Shawn Michaels, when I was growing up, was a bona fide sex symbol. Okay, like,
yes, he was.
Like, he was on the level of, like, in the wrestling space, as you would look at someone like the generation before me would look at John Travolta in Grease as just like this guy who's just like this, like, you see that guy and it's just like, it's just this sex symbol, right? Like that's the whole thing. And Shawn was similar to the Grease comparison, very flamboyant guy. Like, you can't convince me John Travolta isn't leaning at least that way a little bit. Like, there's some, but he's not that I care. It's just like the way he moves and dances and sings and stuff. I was always kind of a little like, I don't know any straight guys who can do this. Let's put it this way. And Shawn Michaels, he was going out there and doing a lot of very flamboyant stuff as well. And he was this guy, and the reason I bring all of this up is because part of what made Shawn Michaels that guy was just the gorgeous hair. He had I wanted that hair so bad when I was a kid. Like, I'm 32 years old with long hair, and a lot of it has to do with because I'm trying to get as close as I can to look like Shawn Michaels in the late 90s. That's my move, right? So, like, to see Shawn now, you're just like, it's just like a,
wow.
It's just it's this reminder that you don't want that you're as old as you are. Like, I'm looking at that and being like, fudge, it's like, oh, like Shawn's looking like that, and it's like, you couldn't. And then it makes you think, it's like,
he
right,
looks like that.
right, and then it makes you think like, well, when he looked the way I'm remembering, that was like over 20 years ago already. So I'm like, oh my god, like, how long has it really been? It's like, it really makes me he has the same hair that Sting had in TNA wrestling. It's the same like short hair where they're trying to hide the bald spot, and it's like, oh, it was just it's just hard. It's hard to see being a, you know, it's I respect it. Like I respect he's just embracing who he is now with like the crooked eye and the hair and the whole deal. But it's like, but fuck, that looks like a totally different human being than the guy I grew up watching on TV.
Yeah. So
great pro wrestler. One of the best ever.
Yeah. So we got a super chat, and here's what I'm thinking, because we've got people in here probably waiting for us to draw. If people want to see your NXT review and predictions for TakeOver, because you're going to be on Fightful tonight, correct?
Tomorrow, yep.
Or tomorrow. Duh. Why do I keep thinking today's Wednesday? Oh my God, I'm tripping. Sorry. How about people? I want people to tune into Fightful tomorrow instead.
I'm going to do predictions, and it'll take 3 seconds. I'm just going to say my winners real quick.
Yes, of course. Win. Okay, and then after you do that, you can get into the super chat, and then because I don't want to like even talk about it, and
with AEW.
Yeah, and then we can explain that. So thank you so much, Harold. I gave you 2 entries into our Wrestle Rumble free entry thing. So thank you so much, Harold. We'll get into your question. We'll explain that in a minute. But first, if it's okay with you, we're going to go ahead and do your quick NXT predictions.
Yes, for sure.
Yes. Okay.
I'll do that right now. And Dylan also said when Sean was wrestling, he smoked, drank, and did drugs. Not kidding. Oh yeah, it's notorious for it. He was apparently like the hardest guy in the world to work with. Like he seems like a giant pain in the ass. But what we were seeing on TV was like some of the best wrestling ever. So like that was kind of the trade-off. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but it's similar to like the Minnesota Vikings when I was growing up. Randy Moss, he was a bad teammate. He admitted he only played when he wanted to play. He was all about straight cash, homie, but we really didn't care because he was catching footballs that we'd never seen these kind of catches before in our life. So it's like there's kind of a trade-off there, but I understand what you're saying, Dylan. You'd rather have a better role model than that. I understand. TakeOver, I'll give you my real quick predictions because like Jessi said, I'll be doing a post show with Alice Pulowski on the Fightful YouTube channel tomorrow night. We don't know who this match is going to be just yet. I'm going to assume that Gargano gets in over Ridge Holland, and I'm going to assume Finn Balor gets in over Velveteen. And I'm going to go with Finn to win the belt, just so because to give him something to do, because he's kind of in a limbo right now. I'm going to go.
I agree with that as well. I do agree. I think that unfortunately we're in a ratings war right now, and Finn is ratings, so.
Yeah, and it gives him something different to do and some new challengers to defend the belt against and stuff. But I'm okay with anybody. I like everyone who's a possibility in this match. I don't want to see Gargano win it again because I don't think he did much for it the first time. Velveteen's already had it for a long amount of time. But if they go with Balor, Grimes, Priest, or Bronson, I'm okay with all those options. This match here, NXT Women's Championship, I'm going to say Io Shirai retains. I hope she does at least. Yeah. I think Io might be the best. I think Tessa Blanchard is the best female wrestler in the world right now, but Io Shirai is close. She's way
Io
up there.
Shirai is fantastic.
This match, I just don't care about. It's so sad because Adam Cole is the man. Adam Cole's the most valuable person they have on. I say it all the time. Raw, SmackDown, or NXT. He is the most valuable guy you have long term, and he's in there against Pat McAfee, who's a former punter in the NFL, and he's been a part of the show with like the pre-shows and stuff.
He's a really good punter.
I'm not going to discredit his career, and I think he has a Super Bowl. I think with the Colts and stuff. So like, I mean, he's legitimate, and they've at least tried to get over the fact that like if he kicks you, like that's going to be like his big move. I feel like is like the punt. Like he's going to try to punt Adam Cole. But I feel like it's a waste of Cole's skill, and he can be in there with someone else having a 5-star match, But I got to imagine Adam Cole wins this match. I have to pick him. You picking Adam Cole as well?
Yeah, I better win, or else I'm quitting on NXT altogether.
There you go. And then this, the main event, they've kind of booked themselves into a corner with this one, unfortunately.
Yes. I don't know, dude.
Yeah. I love Keith Lee as champion. I think he deserves the belt. But he just recently won it, and they have put a lot of stock into Karrion Kross, and I think they've put him in a position where he cannot lose and keep the momentum he has. So I feel like Karrion Kross has to win the title over Keith Lee, so I'm going to pick Karrion, but I feel like they've kind
My husband is in here, Michael.
I feel like they're kind of doing Keith Lee dirty, though, to be honest. Like, he really should have a long-term title reign, because Keith Lee is incredible as well. What does your husband think? You gonna have him jump on?
Michael, come here.
Or just have him yell it if he can. Who does he have? Keith Lee or Karrion Kross?
He's got to walk over here. It's going to take him a minute. He's old. No, I'm just kidding. He's not that old. Michael, come here. He said, hold on. I don't have time to hold on.
Oh, I see it in the chat. Hey, Michael, I didn't see you there until just now. Good deal.
I see it. Sorry.
Going with Karrion Kross.
He's losing his mind. He thinks this is so fun. Yeah, but right.
Do you have Karrion as well, Jessi?
You were watching.
I don't know. You go watch out there.
But why were you watching him?
I can hear it's messing with me. Go away. Scarlett, come on. Go see Daddy. Go watch out there. They're watching us.
That's awesome. Thank you for watching us.
Yeah. Can you close the door? Thank you. So, I don't know, man. I really want Keith Lee to win. But surely they can't have this end in a DQ. Surely they can't.
Yeah. Like,
I
would really hope they don't.
For me. I mean,
yeah.
I like Karrion Kross, do not get me wrong, but it's very early for him to be winning this belt.
Well, and personally, like, if you're just asking me straight up, who do I like better between the two, I'd say Keith Lee. Like, I think that Keith Lee is he just presents something totally different. Like, I like Karrion Kross as well, and I like the kind of legitimacy he brings and, like, the MMA style he brings, and I don't like the lip syncing with Scarlett on the entrance.
I can't stand that.
I think that's
so
cheesy.
Lame.
But, like, the rest of his presentation is great. Like, with, like, everything else around the lip syncing. But as far as, like, you're right, though. I mean, it's very early. They just gave Keith Lee the belt. But I'm also seeing people in the chat saying similar stuff to kind of my line of thinking of, like, is this just them getting the belt off Keith Lee so they can bring him to Raw or SmackDown? Which, if they do, like, Keith Lee has all the talent in the world, but I just have such little faith in them knowing what to do booking-wise with him. They did make him look good, though, and, like, last year when he was in there, he was Survivor Series when he was in the ring with, like, Roman and stuff, and the crowd went nuts for him, and apparently Vince McMahon, like, really liked what he saw. So I don't know, but I've got to predict Karrion Kross. But, like, if it was me personally, I'd like to see Keith Lee retain personally. So
if this ends with Keith Lee unfortunately losing the championship match to Karrion Kross and going to the main roster, I'll be fine with that. Seems like Vince is very high on Keith Lee. I'm cool with that. Deserves it all. But oh my god, my cat's up here. It scared the heck out of me. However, I look at Karrion Kross and I see main roster. I do. I see main roster. He looks like a main roster guy. Kross versus Drew. My hubby said that would be epic, but Drew's gonna lose, so it's gonna have to be Kross versus Orton. However, he just screams main roster to me. He's gonna be world champion eventually, so he's got to win. If they're doing it this early, like, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see.
Yep. So that's TakeOver, and once again, the last time I'll say it until I'll probably mention it again at the end of the show. But if you want to tune into the Fightful YouTube channel tomorrow night, right after NXT, obviously we're not going to be talking about TakeOver because TakeOver is on Saturday. But tomorrow night, this will be the go home show for this show that we're talking about. So, cool. Do you want to do the? We can do the. Oh, there's your cat. We can do the raffle right now to see who wins Wrestle Rumble entries before I talk about AEW.
Sure. If you want to read that super chat really quick, or
Oh, I missed it.
the
The
one
Harold
that
Romero. Yes.
yes. Thank you so much, Harold. I cannot comment on this just because it involves something that happens. My cat, I swear to it involves something that's going to happen on Dynamite on Saturday, which I was at, and so I cannot say anything. I do not want to ruin it for anybody, so I will not even talk about it. So, but thank you so much for your super chat. I gave you 2 extra Wrestle Rumble entries. If you would like a free Wrestle Rumble entry, please comment, I would like an entry. If you would like, my husband just came in and put the cat down. If you would like 2 bonus Wrestle Rumble entries, give us a super chat really quickly of $9.99 or below. Anything $10 and up, you get 3 extra entries. So if you would like to do that really quickly while you answer this question, go ahead.
Perfect. So Harold said with a super chat, he said for the AEW section. So thanks for specifying that. He asked, he says was disappointed with the AEW women's tag with Brandy and Allie winning. Final should have been Anna Jay and Tay versus Diamante and Ivelisse. So what he's referring to is this upcoming Saturday on AEW, we're going to have Brandy and Allie versus Ivelisse and Diamante in the finals of the AEW Deadly Draw Women's Tag Team Tournament. Jessi can't talk about these shows right now, and I don't know. I think everyone knows why, right? Or no?
I mean, we don't
have to talk about it.
Yeah.
Jessi can't talk about the show. I'm allowed to.
I can't talk about it at all.
But Harold, I agree. I couldn't agree more, actually. I think the whole... I hate to say it, because I am the biggest Cody Rhodes fan you will ever find, but Brandy does nothing for me. Like, in the ring, on the mic, as a manager, nothing. I know she's doing good things behind the scenes for the company. I know, like, her relationship with Culture City and stuff for, like, all these venues for kids with like autism and special needs and stuff. Like, I think that's great that they're forward thinking like that. I think Brandy's trying to do at all either. I think that it's also particularly annoying that this was a quote unquote deadly draw tournament, and somehow the only women's tag team in the company wound up somehow getting matched together. Like, this would be different if they used it as a storyline where, like, Brandy used her influence and power in the company to rig it to where they became, so, like, they drew the same names to be a team in the tournament. Like, that'd be one thing. But to my knowledge, and correct me if I'm wrong, anybody, but to my knowledge, that hasn't been the story. So it's one of these things that's just like, why, if they did this whole thing and they wind up making Brandy and Allie win this entire tournament, that's just, I don't even have the words. Just beyond lame. Just another attempt at trying to get Brandy over on screen. They've tried enough times. Like, they tried with Nightmare Collective, scrapped it. She comes out with different members of the Nightmare family all the time just to get her on the television screen. Her matches are consistently not good. She does the worst stunner in professional wrestling. Her spear isn't good. She's not good on the microphone. That's a spot on the show that can go to somebody that deserves it more, just straight up. And if they wind up using this to put Brandy over as a tag team wrestler with Allie, and it's at the expense of a tag team like Ivelisse and Diamante, who have potential, the two of them, I would hate to see that. So I really hope that Ivelisse and Diamante win. I guess is a long way of saying that. Once again, can't stress it enough. Brandy seems like a great human being. But just because you're a great person doesn't mean you're necessarily, great at your craft. And that's just kind of where I'm at with that. And now, don't even get me started on the AEW action figures. Harold Romero with another super chat, $2. So get you another two shots at an entry, Harold.
Yes, I just DM'd you those, and I'll add 2 more of his.
Perfect.
Thank you so much, Harold. Thank you so much. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. Because I am a very expressive person, I am going to, I know this is going to be super damn corny, but this is just how much I care about keeping my damn mouth shut.
Nice.
And get this. If people come in, they're going to be like, what the hell?
There you go. The Unabomber.
Oh my god! Oh, they're fogging up.
But I know, I hate that because sometimes I wear my glasses with my mask and you gotta, yeah.
Yeah,
what's the website that we've been using? That one's been working really well. To pick the names.
I messaged it to you. Hold on.
I know you messaged me on Skype, but I could probably find it. I know it's gotta be in there.
Well, he said, Anna J entrance awesome with the Dark Order. Yes.
Yeah, I like it. I like Anna J a lot, and I think she's really hot also, which helps. Like I think, like I know what I mean.
I was telling my husband, I was like, yeah, Steven really thinks she's hot.
Yeah, I do. Well, but here's the thing, and she seems to be very good at wrestling. So it's like, why wouldn't I be a fan of that? You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
She checks all the boxes once again. Like I'm all about it, especially because my girl Brooke Adams is nowhere to be found anymore. She does Instagram stuff and she doesn't do any wrestling anymore, so I can't really consider her as a wrestling crush. So my current wrestling crush is definitely Anna Jay, but Brooke Adams, if you ever see this, Brooke Tessmacher, you're still the GOAT. So yeah.
So I guess I can do this for now.
I got the website up now too, and then I see you
cool.
You sent me the two more for Harold. Mm-hmm. So I'll make sure. So Harold should have 4 total, correct? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, got a bunch in there for throwback. Okay, awesome. Let me get this pulled up.
Thank you so much, Harold, by the way. Thank you. Thank you to everyone who gave
and if any
super chats and who's been interacting in the chat. Thank you, Terrell. Dang it. JGZ, thank you.
Yes. And anybody who happens to give any more super chats or donations at the end of this show, obviously I can't include you in this, but we do still very much appreciate anything else that comes in the rest of the show. So
please.
Thank you in advance. So as you can see here, I've got all the names. We got a bunch in there for throwback because he did a bunch of donations today. Dylan's wrestling stuff with quite a few. Marty. So thank you all so much. This is an awesome list.
And Marty's in there as well. Thank you, Marty.
Yes, Marty, you're there as well with the donations. So thank you all so much. Basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the random name picker thing here, and that's going to pick one name, and then I'll do it a second time.
And if you aren't in here, which you're not going to see this anyway, just.
We'll reach out.
Yeah, we'll reach out.
Yeah. Basically, if you win, try to let me know in the chat that you're in here. And if you're not, I'll see if it's somebody that we know their Twitter handle or something like that. We'll get in touch. Mm-hmm. So, first name and the first person who's going to win a free entry for the WrestleRumble.com Royal Rumble SummerSlam Pick'em contest for a shot at $500 cash and a replica WWF Winged Eagle Championship belt is... Throwback. I know how to contact him. So,
yay!
Throwback is going to get one. And
yes.
I don't know what this ad is here. I like the drum roll. And the second winner is going to be... Throwback with another one. So there's the...
damn. Okay.
And hey, and there's the advantage. I mean, he dropped $30 in super chats and got his name on there a bunch of times.
Yes, but thank you everyone else for your super chats as well. Thank you, Throwback. Congratulations to Throwback. I know he's not in here, but seriously, your super chats really do mean a lot.
Yes.
We just found out today that we have $1,600 worth of repairs to our car because we need some stuff replaced for some reason. So yeah, and obviously I'm pregnant and it's gonna cost me $4,900 for my deductible. So this money is not being wasted on stupid dumb stuff. This is going places. You need a new mic set up. I mean, you got bills to pay. So we really, really, really do appreciate it. And we appreciate a lot everyone in the chat. As you guys know, and obviously we're not done yet, but still, I've got sunglasses and a damn mask on.
Yeah.
And
also
you
keep in
guys-
mind, like,
yeah.
I give away free entries for that. Says your friend, your husband.
My friend, yes, my friend.
But I give away totally free entries on Twitter for these two. So like the week of pay-per-views, just be paying attention to my Twitter at @FightTalk_, and like that's obviously no donation required, nothing like that. This is another way of me trying to reward y'all for watching the show, but I just do it through Twitter, and it's as simple as like literally retweeting something. Like it costs nothing, and I put your same kind of thing, put your name on the random generator, and boom. So yeah, like Jessi said, I can't
Michael,
thank
keep
y'all
your
enough.
damn mouth shut. Don't leave any comments because you were with me, okay? Not about being pregnant. I mean, you can say whatever you want, but about the show.
Right. Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
And Harold also said in that super chat, Anna J entrance, awesome with the Dark Order.
He said, "I hope I was with you."
So let's. I'm gonna pull this up, and I'm just gonna do some quick predictions for AEW because they have their big show coming up this Saturday. I just got a little match listing here. So starting here, oh geez, that was the wrong. Moved it. All right, here we go. That's what I meant to do. Cody and Brody for the TNT Championship. Whew. I love this match. Love it. But I hate seeing one of these two guys lose.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
Yeah, go for it. I'm going to say Cody retains again, but Brody Lee really needs this. Brody Lee really needs it. He needed it against Moxley. He needs it even more now against Cody. I'm going to say Cody retains, but they got to figure a way to protect Brody Lee on that finish. Or it's like it goes like a DQ or something. I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me at all to see Brody win, and I'm okay with Brody winning. But I do love Cody's open challenges. I love the matches he's having. I love everything he's doing right now. So I don't want that to end, at least not yet. So I'm gonna say Cody retains, but I love this matchup. And Harold, good point in the chat, says, I feel Brody gonna win because Cody's really beat up. That's a great point to make. They're really also playing up more and more all these wars, the accumulation of all these wars that Cody's having, building up, and eventually somebody's gonna catch him on a day where he's too beat up, and this could be it. This could be it for Brody. I could see either person winning. I think this is a great matchup. Harold also mentions Moxley barely beat Mr. Brody. I totally agree. And I thought that Brody should have won that match, but they've rebounded really well with the Dark Order storyline since then. So that's the other thing. Like I keep saying, I feel like Brody needs to win this match against Cody. I'm gonna pick Cody, but I'm also really confident in AEW's booking. So like they can probably figure a good way to make it to where Brody still comes out okay and Dark Order still comes out okay after this. I can't stress it enough. I love the Dark Order storyline. I think they're hilarious. They bring something different to the table. I love it. We got FTR versus Private Party. I feel like Private Party's gonna lose this match. I feel like FTR has to win. I feel like it's really clear they're building towards FTR versus the versus the Revival. FTR versus the Young Bucks. I don't see either team losing a tag team match, heading into whenever that showdown happens, which it seems like they're building more and more towards it, especially with FTR beating up Rock and Roll Express last week. Private Party, I think, is really solid in the ring. I think they're really annoying on being the Elite. I don't find their segments to be funny and stuff, but I do think they're really, really good in the ring, and they have a lot of potential as characters. But maybe they'll do more with, them and Matt Hardy, or they got to pivot, I feel like, a little bit. But AEW's been really good about listening to the fans and pivoting. So I still have a lot of faith in Private Party. I think they're a great team, and I love their match against the Young Bucks in the tag team title tournament. But I think FTR has to win this match and keep building towards them versus the Young Bucks. we've got Omega and the Young Bucks taking on Reynolds, Silver, and Allen Angels of the Dark Order. It's pretty crazy because, like, last week when they did I think it was a 5-on-5 match between the Dark Order and the Elite, I figured for sure the Elite would win, and the Dark Order wound up getting the win. But it was like there was circumstantial because, like, FTR had to, like, leave the match, Hangman left for a while, stuff like that. So I have to imagine Kenny and the Young Bucks will win this one, especially because it's kind of like, I don't want to call Allen Angels like a jobber of the Dark Order because he's kind of in the middle between, like, the losers and the winners of the group. But Silver and Reynolds are definitely the losers of the group. But I like it. Like, I love John Silver. I think he's hilarious. But there's a clear line in the sand in the Dark Order. There's the people who Brody Lee thinks are winners, and there's the people he thinks are losers. And this is kind of more the loser crew. And I think that Omega and the Young Bucks have to beat them. Tag team title, the finals of the women's tag team Deadly Draw tournament. I touched on this earlier. Won't get that much more into it. I feel like Ivelisse and Diamante should win, and I'll be very disappointed if Brandy and Allie win this whole thing. Darby Allin in action. Don't know who he's wrestling, but considering it says this, I'd imagine he'll win his match, whoever it's against. Love Darby Allin, and whoever he wrestles, I'm happy to see because I love Darby. He's one of my favorite people in AEW. He gives me serious, young Jeff Hardy vibes, which is a great thing. He might wind up hurting himself at some point, and his career. I feel like his career could be over at any point with, like, the risks he takes. But it's also those same risks that make someone like Jeff Hardy an absolute legend forever, or someone like Mankind a legend forever. I mean, it's the risk versus reward. Are you willing to put your body through it to maybe become, like, immortal in history, or play it safe and maybe never become that guy? And I think Darby Allin, I'm not saying what's right or wrong, if people should take these risks or not. I'm just saying Darby Allin clearly does, and he wants to, and I think that he's going to become a much bigger star much quicker because of it, and I can't say it enough. Huge fan of his. And last match we got here, Pentagon Jr. Phoenix, The Butcher and the Blade versus Luchasaurus, Jungle Boy, Dustin Rhodes, and QT Marshall. Kind of disappointing that Marco isn't a part of this, because Marco is a very good wrestler. It's just his size is going to just obviously limit his perception and what they're going to really do with him. But I'm sure he'll be on the outside still. Obviously, you got basically 4 tag teams in this match. You got the Lucha Brothers, Butcher and the Blade, Jungle Express, and the American, or the Nightmare Family, whatever they're calling that team between Marshall and Dustin. I'm gonna say the heels win this match. I'm gonna go with Pentagon, Phoenix, the Butcher, and the Blade, because I think both tag teams can really benefit from it. Don't think there's a whole lot they can really do with Dustin and QT as a team really outside of Dark right now. And Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy are going to be fine either way as singles or tag team guys. They're both fantastic, and I think Jungle Boy is going to be the AEW World Champion within the next few years. Probably the next year or two, he's going to be in that kind of spot. But Phoenix and Pentagon could really, really use it. Butcher and the Blade could really use it. Both are solid tag teams, and I'd like to see them get the win. But I'd be okay with the babyfaces winning as well. So that is my preview. Oh, it's my direct messages is what that is.
That's all right.
But yeah, got through it. That's my thoughts on AEW, and that's pretty much it for the show today.
Make sure you all tune into that.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. So yeah, if there's anybody who has any last second super chats that you want me and Jessi to talk about, this is the time to do it, because I'm going to talk about our sponsors and we're going to get on out of here. So
yeah. Oh, by the way, I put all the links to our sponsor or our supporters. I shouldn't really say sponsors because I won't get in trouble, but our supporters, sponsor issues in the description. So if you want any of the links, they're there.
Yes.
Yay.
Yes. Perfect. I forgot one of the things to open. I gotta make sure my on Facebook for this one. Music City, toys and collectibles. Terrell, that's a good question. Did Jericho? Do you mean the FTW belt? And if you do, it is meaningless because it was handed to Brian Cage by Taz. I think it's a cool concept, but it doesn't. It's not like an actual AEW championship belt. All right, here we go. Boom. Oh, my back hurts. All right, so.
Oh, I know, my ass is hurting.
It's a good time to stop the show. Oh my god. And I don't have to go.
I got up. I was like, oh my god, my hips.
I don't have to go finger hunting today either because I have all the AEW
They
stuff.
said finger hunting. I was like, hey.
Yeah. Remember South Park? Oh, this
finger. Oh wait,
finger
never mind.
bang.
Yeah, well, then Whitest Kids, had the finger ring friends. They had rings, but they were the finger ring friends.
Oh, that's awesome. But yeah, I wound up just buying all the figures online. I gave up completely on Walmart. So, as far as a company I have not given up on when it comes to professional wrestling memorabilia and toys and collectibles and autographs and 8x10s and magazines and DVDs and all that stuff, is Music City Toys and Collectibles. They were formerly known as Heroes and Legends. They're amazing. They just did a 90s sale the other night on Saturday, and a lot of great stuff. I get a lot of my Just Toys Bendham WWF figures from them because I'm getting closer and closer to completing that entire set, aside from the ones that are way too expensive. But aside from that, Heroes and I'll keep on to call them here. They've been Heroes and Legends for so long, and they've been sponsoring all my shows for it's hard to call them anything other than Heroes and Legends. Music City Toys and Collectibles, they're good people. They'll give you fair business. Tell them that Jesse and Steven sent you. I promise you get a good deal. Follow them on all social media. Just search Music City Toys and Collectibles. Also, shout out to Wrestle Rumble. We've been talking about them all episode. WrestleRumble.com is a place to be for fantasy pick'em contests for professional wrestling and these awesome raffles. On top of the SummerSlam contest that we've been talking about all show, which normally would have $10, $20, or $30 entries for 1, 3, or 5 entries, there's also the Draped in Gold raffle. For $1, you could win 5 title belts, 5 replica titles. We got the 2 old school WWF tag team belts, old school WWF Intercontinental title, and old school WWF Winged Eagle Championship belt. That is for $1 entries in the Draped in Gold raffle. And then on top of that, the SummerSlam Pick'em contest, the top prize and only prize, $500 cash and a Winged Eagle Championship belt. So huge prizes on the line. 2 awesome contests this weekend for WrestleRumble.com. Make sure to check out their website, check out their merchandise, and also make sure to give them a follow on all social media at Wrestle Rumble to stay up to date with all their contests and raffles. And lastly, we got my brother Brian Jensen. He is a co-owner of Steel Boxing and Athletics, a gym here in Atlanta, Georgia. He works with Parkinson's Foundations. I'm actually I'm close to finishing their new website for young onset Parkinson's. That's what I've been doing as, I don't like to call anything a day job because I just do a whole lot of freelance work that just at the end of the month, I just hope it's around the same amount of money last month that it was the month before or more. That's kind of how my life works at this point. It's so most of the work that people don't see me doing is me working with my brother and these Parkinson's Foundations. I help them with their website and their videos and their graphics and stuff like that. And I'm very proud to be able to help out. I mean, full transparency, they do pay me. It's like a job, but it's something that I do a lot of this stuff for free. But they're allocated so much money a month that they have to spend that it's I don't feel bad about it. Otherwise, I would feel bad that they're paying me anything because I just wanted to help. But it's just anyway, that's a whole thing. But I just wanted people to know I'm doing it because I'm out of love, and my brother does it out of love. But it is jobs for us because there's money they have to spend or else it just doesn't get used. And I'm glad I'm able to help and also get some work out of that. My brother can help you with anything. If you're looking to get in better shape, learn how to box professionally or at an amateur level, if you want to learn self-defense, whatever it is, he can help you. His Instagram handle is BoxingATL. That's BoxingATL. He can meet you in his gym in the Atlanta, Georgia area. He can meet you at your business. He can meet you at home. He can meet you in the park, whatever it is, help you reach your goals. He can do a Zoom class for you, Skype class over the internet, wherever you're at. So whatever your goals are, hit him up. Once again, follow him at BoxingATL, BoxingATL on Instagram. Tell him that me and Jesse sent you over to him, and I promise you he'll give you a great deal. So Get a knockout workout without getting knocked out. Hit up Brian Jensen right now. My Twitter is #FightTalk_. I've talked too much this episode. My throat's starting to hurt. That's all I've got.
Oh no!
Jessi, what you got?
I'm sorry.
No.
It's
It's it's all good. And I do the Weekender on Sundays and talk for an hour straight without any.
I saw that. I did see that posted. So yeah, the best way to get into contact with me or to see what is going on is my Twitter. So at Jessi the Buckeye. And the best way to like talk with me, if you want to talk with me on a daily basis for some reason, which would be cool, I guess. The more the merrier. If you want to see more of me than you'll see on Twitter, you know what I'm saying? Then you can go to my OnlyFans, onlyfans.com/Jessi the Buckeye, JSSITHEBUCKEYE. The link is in the description below. It would really mean a lot to me. That is like my number one means of income right now. And I've got a growing family. I got to support them. We've got a lot going on that we don't really talk about. So it really does mean a lot to me. If you would please, if you're into that, if that seems like something you would like, please do subscribe to my OnlyFans. I would really appreciate it. Also, please make sure if you really enjoy these videos and you really enjoy the live chats and being here and being with us, or if you're watching it later and you enjoy watching this later, thank you so much for that, by the way. Then please do like this video, give it a thumbs up. That really does help us. It gets us good with the algorithm, this befangled YouTube algorithm, and it really helps us get more of an audience and more amazing people like y'all in the chat. We appreciate you so much. More amazing people. Also, please give us a subscription. Please subscribe to us for free on YouTube. A subscription here, you'll get notified when we go live. We're kind of back and forth when we want to go live. Our times are kind of varied now that Scarlett's back in school. We never know really when we're going to go live. We do our best to keep you updated on Twitter, but you never know. So if you're subscribed to the channel on YouTube, you'll get a notification when we go live about 30 minutes before we go live, and then when we do go live. So that would really mean a lot to us as well. I think we should do something really special when we get to 10K. I don't know what, but we should do like a giveaway or something once we get to 10K. We're like 500 away.
Hell yeah. I'd be happy to. I've got a courtesy of Music City Toys and Collectibles. I've still got some autographed 8x10s. I got a couple of figures, some old magazines that are in really good shape, like some old like PWIs from like 1999 and stuff like that. So I can put together like a little prize pack. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and do that when we get to 10K. So please tell your friends, tell your folks, tell your loved ones. This is what they like. To please subscribe to the channel. It would really mean a lot to us. That's all I've really got for now. I think the next time could Otis cash in this weekend? My husband said that. I don't know. I hope so. I want Otis to be champ.
Yeah, even if it's a tag team title, something.
Yeah.
Otis is great.
Yeah, I think so. No, he will not cash in and lose Terrell. Get out of here. No. Don't get out of here for real though. But I don't know. That's interesting. But that's all I have. I think the next time we go live, I'm assuming either Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday, I have a lot to say about Dynamite. So you're definitely not going to want to miss that. So please hit that subscribe button. Make sure you're subscribed and, be here and subscribe to my OnlyFans if that's what you're into. That would really mean a lot to me. And follow Steven and I on Twitter.
Perfect. Couldn't have said it better myself. Yeah, the rest of this week. I guess we'll probably do a probably early next week, because there's going to be like NXT and AEW and SummerSlam and all this other stuff. So maybe we do like Monday during the day or like Tuesday during the day kind of thing. Will probably be one to look out for us next. But if you're following us and we wind up going live before that, then you'll know. And as far as the rest of my week, if anyone else wants to check out the rest of the stuff I've got going on Sunday, I recorded the Fightful Select Weekender. So if you want to check that out on Fightful Select, that's like all non-WWE and AEW stuff, but I do cover Being the Elite, Ring of Honor, Impact, 205 Live, a whole bunch of different stuff, the Indies. Yesterday, I recorded a MMA podcast talking about UFC 252 and previewing this upcoming Saturday's show. That's available at the Sobros Network at SobrosNetwork.com. Today I had this. Tomorrow I'll be on the Fightful Post show talking about NXT. Thursday, I'll be on the Fight Feed again on YouTube. That's with me and Doug Bateman. People may remember Doug as a part of Bill and Doug, the TNA Addicts back in the day. Me and him are going to be talking on Thursday night. That'll probably be like 10 p.m. Central Time, really late. I'll probably take Friday off, and then we got a whole bunch of stuff over the weekend and that we can talk about come the beginning of the week. So all that stuff I try to keep updated. And then I'll also have another All Things MMA video come out probably next week as well. So I try to make sure to put all that stuff on my Twitter, and that's the best way to keep up to, like, if you want to follow that stuff. So please, I appreciate the support. I am out of breath. My throat's scratching. My brother's probably here.
Oh, no.
I'm
All right.
out. See y'all next time.